Cleveland Browns.
Getting colder as the Bills and the Browns are ready to meet in windy Cleveland Stadium for the first time since that dramatic playoff game last January. The decision is in. It's Mike Pagel who is the Browns starting quarterback today, as incumbent Bernie Kosar, one of the most successful in the NFL, goes to the bench at least to start this game. Good afternoon, everyone. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. Bernie Kosar in his 5 previous seasons at Cleveland has led the Browns to the playoffs every year, 4 divisional titles. This could be divisive, Trump. Take him to the bench.
Don, there's no question about that, but that's why they pay the head coaches the big money. I think Bud Carson agonized all week as to what to do. I think because they're at home and because of the outcry against Bernie Kosar that he starts Mike Pagel. And, of course, Pagel a little more mobile. And it's totally on the shoulders of one Bud Carson as to whether or not it works.
And, of course, as you've heard, the Bud Watch is on here in Cleveland. It began early in the season. The Browns have lost 3 straight. They've lost 6 of their last 7 games. This is a team that, coming into this season, in the previous 4 seasons, won more regular season games than any team in the NFL, including the 49ers, with Kosar at quarterback. Now the Bills, while the Browns are down, are way up, and Scott Norwood's ready to kick it off to start the game. He hits the ball downfield, and here is the very fast Eric Metcalf. He'll down the ball in his end zone for a touchback, and the Browns will go on offense at their 20. Pagel comes out. There is a big contingent of Bills fans here today to follow that 6-1 team. There's the offensive line. It's been a major problem. The Browns are last in the NFL in rushing the ball. Pagel at quarterback. Metcalf, he's more of a receiver than a runner. Kevin Mack is the power back. Slaughter and Brennan, the wideouts, 2 good ones. Ozzie Newsome, the veteran tight end. And they go to the extra wide receiver formation. A first-year player, Vernon Joins, comes in. Browns from their 20. Pagel to throw on first down, swings it to Mack. And Kevin Mack
Fumble.
loses the ball, and the Bills signal they have it. We'll see if the official concurs. He does.
Well, that breaks a trend of the last several weeks that the Browns have started each series running the ball. This is the pass, but who has it?
Now they ruled that the Browns kept the ball. So at the bottom of that pile, there was some serious combat going on, and a Cleveland Brown got it back.
Looked like Kevin Mack. This is a screen. There, the ball is no doubt it's loose, and it looks like Kevin Mack is able to pull it back into his arms. He makes the fumble. He also makes the recovery.
But the one Brown on offense who is having a good year, it's Kevin Mack, averaging 4 yards a carry. He's taken a beating. The Browns have had big problems on first down. They'll be throwing more on first down today. Now they go to the run on 2nd and 6. And Mack is thrown back by the Bills. Leon Seals is the first to get him. You look at the front 7 of the Bills: Bruce Smith, Jeff Wright, Leon Seals. This whole 7 group having a terrific year. Bennett, Conlon, Bailey, and Talley, the backers. On passing downs, Conlon and Bailey will come out. The Bills go to extra DBs in their dime package. Chris Hale and rookie James Williams come in. The regulars in the defensive secondary, Jackson and Odoms, are at the corners. Smith and Hagee, the safeties. Hagee in for the injured Mark Kelso. They're down now for Cleveland. The Browns need 4. Good throw, and Brennan, normally sure-handed, can't pick it off. Ryan Brennan's got the best hands on the Cleveland team, but he couldn't make the play there. And the Browns have to punt now into a gusting wind. And punting the ball, Trump's been a big problem with Cleveland.
Yeah, Wagner has had real problems. They had 4 blocked in 3 games. And, of course, the Buffalo Bills under Marv Levy since 1986 have blocked 16 kicks.
They make it an art form. They spend as much time on that as they do on their offensive game plan, how to block kicks. Wagner steps in, hits a low punt into the wind. Chris Hale ready to field it. Now he'll let it roll. And it'll be down at about the 43-yard line.
Well, the Bills get great field position to start the game.
The conversation's all been about who's going to start at quarterback. This guy for Buffalo is having a terrific year. Jim Kelly, averaging 63% completions, thrown for 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Offensive line strong. Hull's a 2-time Pro Bowler at center. Wolford and Ballard a couple of 300-pound tackles. Thurman Thomas is the man the Cleveland Browns fear most. Extra wide receivers to come in to join Lofton and Reed are Don Beebe and Don Smith. Bills have diversified their offense in recent games, doing a lot more things. Here is Thurman Thomas. Laid ahead for a gain of perhaps 2 yards. Bills have not had much success in a number of years on grass fields. Front seven for the Cleveland Browns. The best there is Michael Dean Perry, an all-pro player at tackle. He's the Refrigerator's younger brother. Baker, Pike, and Banks up front with him. Matthews, a 4-time Pro Bowl linebacker. Johnson and Grayson, the other backers. In the dime package, Tony Blaylock and Stephen Braggs come in for Cleveland. Browns are good on defense. They rank 9th in the NFL. Kelly, 2nd and 8. Loops the ball and running his all-pro receiver, Andre Reed. And he is out of bounds at the 35-yard line of the Browns.
Yeah, Don, last year when Buffalo came into Cleveland to play in that divisional playoff game, the Cleveland Browns expected the Buffalo Bills to run the ball. The net result, Kelly threw it like 54 times. Totally surprised the Cleveland Browns. The Browns did win. But Marv Levy told us last night, he said, hey, we didn't think we could run against Cleveland. Jim Kelly had one of his biggest days, and they got a lot of underneath stuff. Andre Reed with an underneath catch there for a first down.
Kelly threw for 405 yards and 4 touchdowns in that playoff loss to Cleveland. Jamie Mueller, behind the trap block, takes it straight ahead to the 31-yard line. First down carry, and it's a gain of about 4 yards.
We have 2 of the most disruptive defensive linemen in the NFL. Michael Dean Perry for the Cleveland Browns cheats that line of scrimmage as best he possibly can. Excellent job there by Richer, 51, Wolford, 69, just turning Michael Dean out. And, of course, the other big disruptive defensive lineman plays for the Bills. Number 78, Bruce Smith.
Who's having maybe as good a year as any player in the NFL, let alone any defensive lineman, Bruce Smith. Second down, the Bills need 6. One back set, and it goes to Thurman Thomas. Caught from behind by Michael Dean Perry. And it'll bring up 3rd down and about 5.
Clay Matthews was also there, too. Both of them came from the backside of that, Don, to get in there and get a hold of Thurman Thomas before he could get going. If you look from the end zone, you can see that it's the counter. Watch the counter step by Thurman Thomas, and behind it, Clay Matthews and Michael Dean run it down. There's Matthews on the assist. Michael Dean catches it from behind. Very little pickup.
The Bills winners of 5 straight games as Perry goes into his 3-point. Digging in on 3rd down and 4. Kelly, cool under pressure, lofts it to Andre Reed, but he'll be cut down short of the first down.
Oh, fumble.
And a ball on the field. And where the recovery is, it might be enough for a first down. Looks like the Bills have the ball. They have a first down.
Clay Matthews on the tackle, and Reed did not catch that ball deep enough to get the first down, but avoided the initial contact. Got up the field for the pickup. It's Frank Minifield, 31. Felix Wright, 22. Andre Reed is an extraordinary player, but Matthews knocks the ball loose. Somebody dives in there in a Bills uniform and gets it. Drive stays alive.
The Bills coaches came into this game saying they've never seen their team more focused on a game. See the fumble problems the Browns have had. They've had a fumble in 14 straight games. Bills have not fumbled in their last 3 games, not lost a fumble. Kelly on first down, over the middle again, and McKellar, a tight end with wide receiver speed and hands, makes a diving reception. The middle backer, Mike Johnson, was astride behind him. McKellar, a former basketball player at Jacksonville State, has really come on. Caught 5 passes, one for a sensational touchdown against New England last week.
Don, this Buffalo offense really puts the heat on you. And you got McKellar's as an outlet. When you don't throw it to Andre Reed or Thurman Thomas, then McKellar's gets down the field. Jim Kelly has great offensive weapons all around him.
Bills have lost 5 straight to the Cleveland Browns. Mueller on second down takes it inside the 15-yard line. He needed 3 and is very close to it. We We'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching the Raiders and the Chiefs at Kansas City. The Chiefs with a very big win today, beating the Raiders 9-7. So the Raiders lose only the second game this season. Kansas City will play them again later in the season. The Miami Dolphins keeping the pressure on the Buffalo Bills. The Dolphins blasting Phoenix today, 26-3. So the Dolphins go to 7-1. And Marv Levy's team has to keep pace with a win today to share first place.
Mr. Detail. He leaves no stone unturned in preparing his team for each opponent each week. I mean, he is a detail freak.
And he's a player's coach. There's no coaching controversy at Buffalo. They like Levy, and he's been a big winner this season. Divisional champion last year. Mueller, the power back from nearby Lakewood, Ohio, one of 12 children. Got a big following in the stands, and Jamie Mueller bowls ahead for a first down for the Bills.
Now, Don, once again, the Buffalo Bills on the road against a pretty good defense. Last week, New England. This week against Cleveland. At the outset of the game, taking charge. In previous weeks, they'd had that problem. They had a lot of comfort behind victories. Jim Kelly told us 2 weeks ago when we were preparing for the Bills-New England game, we got to get on them early. In the last 2 weeks, they have. This is a dominating football team, the Buffalo Bills.
And their offense has really come on. Defense has been good throughout. Handoff now goes to Thurman Thomas. And he takes it inside the 5-yard line. Dane Gash saves a touchdown hit, but for the moment, as the Bills now have it down close to the goal line. And we welcome those of you who've been watching the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots. The Eagles with a resounding 48-20 thumping of the hapless Patriots. Here in Cleveland, it's 0-0. Browns failed to move on their opening drive, and now the Bills are challenging for the first score of the game. Second down and goal inside the 5-yard line. Thomas leaving. He's going in. Thurman Thomas takes it down to the goal line and breaks the plane.
Dane Gash finally makes the tackle, as you see the Buffalo Bills fans here in attendance. Someone misses a tackle. Watch 22 Felix Wright. Watch the quickness of Thurman Thomas. Get up inside of Felix Wright, 22. Then it's a sprint for the corner. Gash makes contact, but the ball does break the plane of the goal line. First drive, a score for the Buffalo Bills.
Thurman's third touchdown of the season. All week long, the Browns on defense drilled on how to contain him. Norwood hits the point after, and the Buffalo Bills, here's a penalty marker down on the extra point. There's a penalty marker down. .7:45 to play in the first quarter. Buffalo with a 7-0 lead if the extra point goes. We'll check with referee Jerry Seaman.
Tripping against the Buffalo. That usually happens on the outside, the corner men that are protecting against the kick blocker. That, I believe, is a 10-yard penalty.
Tripping, number 50 offense, will retry, 10-yard penalty.
Watch on the right side
Ray
of the
Bentley.
screen. Ray Bentley is the up back. He trips the inside guy, which is Clay Matthews. And good call. That's illegal. Minifield on the outside. Well, they try again for the extra point.
It now becomes, in effect, a 30-yard field goal. Taking it from the 20-yard line. Norwood had a bit of a slump. Came out of it last week. He's good from 30 on the extra point. And the Bills do indeed take a 7-0 lead. And Buffalo will be kicking off when we come back.
The nesting instinct is a desire to settle down.
Say what?
Couples become placid.
In a Grand Am sedan? Get out of here. This thing's so quick, you'd never know it's a four-door.
They gladly repress their own desires.
Dream on! Being sensible isn't boring in the Grand Am.
Why
walk into a television showroom, and someone will probably try to sell you a set with a foreign name on it. Before you see their choice, ask to see yours. Ask to see the first TVs that combine digital video and audio, with a performance to back it up. Ask for picture-in-picture with triple flashback. Ask for a single remote that can learn to run everything. Ask to see a Zenith. For true innovation in television, quality never looked more like a Zenith.
If you enjoy a quiet afternoon get-together,
It's the right beer now.
if you're concerned about not just what goes on your body, but what goes in it,
It's the right beer now.
because when you're in a place that's really happening, anything can happen. So call for the silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Coors Light. Yeah, it's the right beer now.
Once again, the touchdown. Here's Thane Gash, who's going to come across and make the tackle, but excellent leg strength by Thurman Thomas. He avoids 22 Felix Wright. Now, this is a good hit. Thane Gash is an excellent tackler, but Thurman Thomas able to absorb the hit, still keep his legs driving for the end zone.
Thane Gash, who stopped Thurman Thomas' try for the end zone, then couldn't the second time as Thomas goes in from 3 yards out. Bills got good field position, as you pointed out, Trump, and took advantage as they jump into a lead. 3 straight weeks they had to come from behind in the fourth quarter to win. Last 2 weeks they've dominated early now. Here comes Metcalf from the goal line. Steve Tasker throws him back, and then Dwight Drain sweeps him under inside the 5-yard line.
Boy, if this isn't a secret to the Buffalo Bills' success, they do not allow.
Tasker really makes the play. Watch this.
I don't know how he
89.
gets down there all the time. Watch, he's the first one that comes into your picture there. And then he breaks down perfectly. He does not miss tackles. Metcalf gets away, but by that time, Dwight Drain there. Metcalf loses about 8 yards. Poor field position for the Browns.
Hagel and the Browns starting 95 yards from the Bills' end zone. Mack. No, it's Leroy Horde, the rookie from Michigan, who takes it across the 10-yard line. As we now check the 10-minute ticker. It's 7-0 here at Cleveland. Kansas City defeating the Raiders today on 3 field goals. San Francisco again finding a way, rallying in the second half to beat the Packers at Green Bay. Miami goes to 7-1 with a victory over Phoenix. New Orleans upsetting the Bengals at Cincinnati. Washington and Detroit now in overtime, tied at 38. Philadelphia's mentioned a winner. Here's Leroy Horde getting some work today. He's averaged only 2.8 yards a carry. They like him, Trump. A big strong back as a marker goes down. He was a second-round pick from Michigan.
False start prior to the snap. Number 66 offense. Still second down.
Tony Jones, the right tackle, is a player to watch. As we see the Jets have won again, beating Dallas 24-9, and Pittsburgh, after trailing early in the game, rallies in the second half with 3 touchdowns to beat the Falcons. In a 4 o'clock game, San Diego's gone up on the Seahawks at Seattle. Bills think that Tony Jones at right tackle tips a lot of things off for the Browns. He tends to set up deeper when it's going to be a pass play. Sets up at the line when they're going to run it. He's back a little. And Hagel hands off. It goes to Leroy Horde, and the Bills read run all the way. Cornelius Bennett, the all-pro outside backer, number 97, was the first man there.
So far, this is about as quiet as I have ever heard Cleveland Municipal Stadium.
Except for that group from Buffalo in the end zone.
Yes. I think 76,000 of the 80,000 here are Cleveland fans, obviously, and it is so definitely quiet.
Metcalf and Joins are now in the game. And a one-back set. When Metcalf is flanked out, it's 90% pass for the Cleveland offense, and they're just setting up the pass now in the shotgun. Throw and a drop. Brian Brennan. Normally sure-handed with 2 drops early in the game. Very unlike Brian Brennan. And the Browns again, 3 downs and out, and they'll have to punt from their end zone.
And again, unless something strange happens, great field position for the Buffalo Bills. games like this, when you're leading your division and you're 6-1, field position is a great psychological lift to you. When you're 2-6, you always seem to be starting inside your own 10-yard line.
Talk about losing teams statistically with more injuries also. No one knows why, but it's a fact. Headlines in the Cleveland morning paper today, win one for the skipper. Talking about the Browns who want to win for Carson. Here's a good punt by Wagner. Into the wind. The wind holds it.
Flag down.
Marker is down at the line of scrimmage. Another one on an illegal block as Chris Hale takes the ball back to the Cleveland 35-yard line.
Okay, now to remind everyone again, there is a new rule that if it's running into the kicker, it's just a 5-yard penalty, no guarantee of a first down. And if it's roughing the kicker, it's an automatic first down.
Good point. As Steve Tasker was telling us yesterday, their ace kick blocker, when it's 4th and long, we go for the block. And they got the kicker trying to get the block.
Jerry's got it backwards. He's got running into the kicker against the kicking team, and he's got it backwards. But it still depends on whether or not it's a 5-yard penalty
or a flagrant foul.
Or a flagrant foul and a 15-yard penalty and a first down.
Game clock stopped with 5:40 to play in the first quarter. Bills leading 7-0.
And I see both the penalties here are against Buffalo.
We have running into the kicker, number 99 defense. That penalty will be declined. We had an illegal block during the return. Number 29 receiving team, 10-yard penalty. Ball will be Buffalo.
Hale Garner, number 99, runs into him.
And that's the inadvertent kind. And then at the other end, we have an illegal block. That's 29 for the Buffalo Bills, David Poole. So Cleveland will put Buffalo back at about the 33-yard line.
Even when all of Company B heads for the phone, it's no problem for Gail Godfrey.
Delta Airlines, Gail Godfrey.
Y'all fly to Lubbock, Texas?
Yes, that is confirmed.
I got some friends who want to talk to you now. Just hold on a second. Thank you. Cincinnati, Ohio. New York City. Monroe, Louisiana. Albuquerque, New Mexico. San Jose, California. Portland, Oregon. Butte, Montana.
You're all set. Thank you for calling, Delta.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Gail. Did you get many calls this afternoon? One.
Delta, we love to fly, and it shows.
What is McDonald's McRib sandwich?
It's saucy. What it is. Sassy. What it is.
Smothered.
Spicy. It's full of flavor. Yeah. It's really something.
Yo, it's death.
Juicy.
Smoking.
McRib. What it is.
And now with large fries and an icy Coke, it's McRib Pack.
You know the one McDonald's for food, books, and fun.
Tranquility. That's where it's at.
Wrong.
Relinquish power. You don't need it.
I live for power, and my Pontiac Grand Am has plenty of it. It gets great mileage, too.
You don't want anything that'll get you going.
Wanna bet? My Grand Am gets me going every time.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We build excitement. By Liberty Mutual. For your insurance and financial service needs, America believes in Liberty Mutual. And by Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
With Bob Crumpy, this is Don Crickey back at Cleveland Stadium, where the temperatures dropping, the winds off the lake are up. And the Bills are in the lead 7-0. Kelly methodically moved the Bills through the Browns defense on Buffalo's first possession. Herman Thomas on the payoff down the 3-yard run. Here's a swing pass. Out of the backfield is Jamie Mueller. And he hits out to the 45-yard line. A gain of about 6 on the play. Middle backer Mike Johnson, number 59. The leading tackler for the Browns was on the stop.
Well, Don, you see Jim Kelly so much more in control this year of this offense, you know? It used to be that he'd get flustered, but Here he's looking around. Now watch how often Jim Kelly, he looks outside, he looks down the field. No, not there. All right, let's throw it to Mueller. It's as good as a 5 or 6 yard run. You make the defense do their job. That's the maturing of Jim Kelly.
Interesting contrast in the teams. The Bills have a lot of new people in their offensive line, but they've been very effective up front, unlike the Cleveland Browns, as Buffalo goes to the run on second down. And Thurman Thomas takes it out across the Bills' 45-yard line. Dave Grayson gets him at about the 47. Thurman Thomas leads the American Conference in yards from scrimmage with over 700, even though he missed almost an entire game against the Jets with a knee problem. He's averaging almost 6 yards a rush. Best second-round draft choice the Bills have ever made.
You got that
the
right.
best anybody's ever made.
Now, he had that knee injury in college, and I think people kind of backed off of him.
That's the reason.
Boy, is he a find.
3rd and short. Kelly in the gun. 4 wide receivers set. Big rush, and the Browns do the job. Kelly got the ball back.
Browns taking a big chance here, coming with a blitz. Clay Matthews on the outside. Michael Dean Perry gets him from the inside. They really outmanned the offensive line of the Buffalo Bills. The Bills line didn't have enough people to block all the blitzers the Browns were bringing. There's a certain desperation in that. See, Banks 97 goes inside. Matthews outside. And Perry gets off of the left guard and is able to make the sack.
Ready to punt now for the Bills. Rick Tootin, as a penalty marker goes down. Stephon Adams, a former Raider, goes over after the ball, but there are markers down on the field. Game clock stopped with 3:36 to play in the first quarter. Buffalo continues to lead the game 7-0. Bills drafted a punter high. Hold on Cleveland.
After the ball is kicked, so the ball will, the penalty will be assessed at the point where the ball was dead.
Holding, post-possession foul, number 80, receiving team, first down.
Browns will get the ball when we come back, but they'll be deep in their own end again to start a drive.
For some time.
Bernie Kosar, who grew up a lifelong Cleveland Brown fan in nearby Boardman, Ohio, quarterbacked Miami of Florida to a national championship over Nebraska in the '84 Orange Bowl, and has led the Browns in the last 5 years to the playoffs every season, 4 divisional titles, twice to the AFC title game. On the bench to start today, Mike Pagel, brought in to pitch for the Cleveland Browns to try to get them out of their slump. Swing pass. Here comes hard-running Leroy Horde as he goes out to the 19-yard line. Gain on the play of 5. Taken down by Cornelius Bennett.
And we've seen a couple of drop passes by the Cleveland Browns, and there is a significant difference in the velocity between these two quarterbacks. Kosar, not known as a particularly strong-arm quarterback. Pagel, on the other hand, one of the game's great guns. Sometimes it's uncontrollable, but he really rifles the football.
Big and strong, 6'2", 220. Was an outfielder on an NCAA championship baseball team at Arizona State. Kevin Mack moves the pile a little bit on second down. Tackled by Leon Seals. Again, looking at the scoreboard, Chiefs over the Raiders. 49ers win their 16th game in a row. Miami beat Phoenix. New Orleans over the Bengals at Cincinnati. Overtime game at Pontiac, Michigan. Redskins rallying to tie the Lions now in OT. Eagles blast the hapless Patriots. Jets over Dallas. Pittsburgh beat Atlanta. In the 4 o'clock games, Bears and Bucks scoreless. Oilers up on the Rams at Anaheim. 3rd and short. Mack. It'll be close.
Well, there's the problem with the significant problem with this offense is that I don't think defenses have any respect for the running game of the Cleveland Browns. None. And in Kevin Mack's case, he had no place to go there. And of course, in the NFL, you can't stand back there and throw it on every down. You'll have all of your quarterbacks in the emergency room. But again, that's 3 downs or 4 downs or 5 downs and out for the Cleveland Browns. Not what they want.
Been a lot of criticism of the Browns' personnel moves here, but somebody's done something awful right to win as many games as they have over the last 5 years. Wagner again thunders a punt up into the wind. Chris Hale at 5'7", 165 takes it back, and he's not done till he crosses midfield and gets down to the 42-yard line of Cleveland.
Again, great field position for the Buffalo Bills.
Vernon Joins was the man who came down and made the tackle for Cleveland. So with 1:46 to go in the first quarter, the Bills go back on offense when we return. Other teams over the years, they've played some of their best football, the Browns and the Bills, on very cold days. Great Lakes teams, and the temperature has been dropping. Kelly moved his team to a touchdown the first time they had the ball today. That's how it stands, 7-0. Late in the first quarter, 1:25 to play in it. Kelly has it slapped back at him. Markers down. Michael Dean Perry, who was the AFC Defensive Player of the Year last year, number 92 from Clemson, is a man who put the heat on again.
Not a particularly tall player is Michael Dean Perry, but able to get his hand up. We've got...
Might have left early, though.
Yeah, we've got the penalty on Cleveland. He is offsides. If you look at Kent Hall...
Offside, number 92 defense, still first down.
The center for Buffalo, Kent Hall, puts the ball right underneath his head. Now, on a center where he puts the ball way out, Michael Dean really cheats the line of scrimmage, but you can see that, I mean, he tries to get through that gap, but he's just premature.
So the Bills now have an interesting play call, 1st and 5, and Kelly goes to the run. Thurman Thomas at 5'10", 200 pounds, takes it into the Browns defense to the 38-yard line. It's interesting, Trump, we talked to Coach Marv Levy yesterday. He's talking about the Bills were very interested in drafting Michael Dean Perry. But Perry told him, I don't want to be a nose tackle. So he plays in a 4-man front at Cleveland, and they tell him he's not a nose tackle. But we know better, and he's a real good one.
Oh, yes, he is. One of the most disruptive defensive tackles I think this game has ever seen. You can't account for a quick tackle like that in your offense, because before your offensive lineman can get out of their stance, he's in the backfield.
Great guy to have in your team, a real up leader type of individual, as the handoff goes straight ahead, and the power back. Jamie Mueller on 2nd and short gets a first down for the Bills. You'll remember that sensational game these two teams played last January, the divisional playoff game in the cold of Cleveland Stadium. Went back and forth. It was like a highlight reel. And finally, Bud Carson and the Browns won it 34-30.
Don, I did notice that the last series, the Buffalo Bills are getting a matchup they're going to like and try eventually here. That's Thurman Thomas flanked out, and the last time they did that, Dave Grayson, the linebacker, was on him. That's something that Buffalo loves to see, a linebacker on Thurman Thomas.
Browns absolutely say Thomas is almost unstoppable because he can do so many things well. That time they get him on a short yardage carry. He got ahead for about 3 yards. And that'll do it for the first quarter of play. Time runs out, and Buffalo wins the first 15 minutes, 7-0. Browns, who was benched today for Mike Pagel, has been warming up during this past timeout and talking to quarterback coach Zeke Bratkowski. Looks like he might come in from.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick hook for Mike Pagel, but Pagel's not, and the Browns are not producing anything offensively. But frankly, I think that's more field position.
Bills with a 7-0 lead to open the second quarter. Heading towards the open end of Cleveland Stadium, and folks in the pound are kicking up, making it tough on Kelly to call numbers. Throw to Thurman Thomas. Brilliantly executed play as Thomas had a step on the all-pro outside backer Clay Matthews and made the grab for a first down.
Yeah, Don, there's the matchup that Buffalo will be looking for all day. Watch what happens here, Don. From a normal set, there's just one back. Here's Thomas. Here's Matthews. The pattern is the out pattern, and this is exactly what Buffalo wants throughout the league. Run Thurman Thomas on any linebacker. He'll beat him and catch the ball.
Redskins have just beaten Detroit in overtime, rallying from 17 points down in regulation to win by 3. Thurman Thomas on first down. Down to the 13-yard line. Gain of 5 yards on the play. Felix Wright, the strong safety, got him.
And a significant part of this game, look at where they've started. Their own 20, their own 5, and their own 13, 9 plays. No first downs. And that is bad news for the Cleveland Browns. An offense that suffered. And then on the other hand, of course, the Bills, their own 43, their own 39, and the Cleveland 42.
Bud Carson is saying the thing that impresses him about Kelly, he's releasing the ball so much quicker this season. Making his decision, getting rid of it like that. And he's got Andre Reed down to the 6-yard line. For the Bills, they're ahead for a first down.
Kelly got hit.
Left arm. Hey, this guy's as tough as a boot. Somebody had to get him good for him to show pain.
An old boot at that. Let's see who gets him. Clay Matthews comes on the blitz outside. No. Looks like it's Bubba Baker who gets him. I don't see anything significant there injury-wise, but Kelly is going to the sideline. He may have just hit his crazy bone in his elbow, which just gives you that stinging sensation. Yeah, they're rubbing his elbow. I think he just hit his crazy bone. He's all right.
Eddie Abramowski, the longtime trainer, give him a rub down. Looks like he's ready to go when we come back.
Just in Jim Kelly's hand here. Frank Reich making sure Kelly can take the snap. Looked like he hit his elbow on the face mask of Bubba Baker. He's back in the huddle and okay. That was his left arm.
So the dog pound starts a barking, and Kelly aligns his team. First down and goal at the 7-yard line as the left side of the Bills line left early. Tackles Will Wolford and Howard Ballard for the Bills. The guards are Jim Richer and John Davis, and the center, 2-time Pro Bowler Kent Hull.
Yeah, the problem with the play like that, it gives away your #1 choice in the scoring zone. You always run your first play, the one you like the best, and it gave it away, and it looked like a pass to me. McKellar's the tight end, fired off the line of scrimmage. He may have been the guy that moved, but well, you hate to see that if you're Ted Marchibroda or Marv Levy, because that's your #1 choice.
Kelly started the day as the #2 ranked passer in the American Conference behind Jay Schrader of the Raiders. Kelly with a 92 rating, 63% completion.
Left guard offense. Still first down.
They got Jim Richer, who's having another outstanding year for moving early. He's got a full load on his nose today, and Michael Dean Perry. Bills continue to lead the game 7-0 after they stopped the Browns on the opening drive on 3 plays, took a punt, and went 57 yards. With Thurman Thomas scoring on a 3-yard sweep. Now the Bills go first and goal from the 12-yard line. Thomas starting in, heading in. Oh, nobody laid the glove on him.
Oh, did they blow him off the line of scrimmage? Goodness.
Funny, Richard was telling us yesterday, Trump, he loves to have him run on his side, he and Wolford.
This is the counter series. Look at this. Nobody touches anybody. Ballard puts Dane Gash on his back. Beautifully executed from him.
Watch the right guard Davis come across with his trap. He just kicks out and flattens Raymond Claiborne.
Oh, did you see Ballard on Gash? That's a highlight reel right there, that one play.
So the Bills, with textbook execution now, with the extra point, extend their lead to 14-0. The Bills and their fans conservatively thinking Super Bowl, and with good. The visage of head coach Bud Carson reflecting how this day has gone, as so many have had for this season for the Browns.
Oh,
the Bills taking it right through Cleveland for a second touchdown of the day by Thurman Thomas. Norwood now kicks off for the Bills into the win. It's a high spinner. Terry short. Stephon Adams on the run at his 29. And he'll cross the 32-yard line. And there the Browns go on offense again.
And on that touchdown run, when the coaches put it up on the chalkboard as Pagel comes in, it doesn't work this good. Here's the strong side. They block down. Thurman Thomas takes that little jab step, allows the guard and the tackle to get out in front of it, and then watch the job Davis and Ballard do. Watch this block and watch what happens to Thane Gash. Absolutely cream him. He runs it in untouched for a score.
Blocking par excellence. Takes Thurman Thomas into the end zone a second time. Hagel's still in there. Both are warmed up, but he's still on the sideline as Hagel looks to gun it on first down. Out pattern, he makes the connection. Eric Metcalf makes the reception. Now while we have a moment, let's go to NFL Live and Bob Costas. Bob?
From Cleveland to Cleveland, Gary of the Rams. This one-yard run has tied the ball game up with the Oilers in Anaheim. They're even at 10. Earlier, Warren Moon hurled a 40-yarder to Drew Hill, his 19th TD pass of the year, tying him for the moment with Joe Montana, whose day's work is done after throwing 3 at Green Bay. Don?
Good one going at Anaheim, and now we have the Cleveland Browns with 2nd down and 4 coming up. They go to the run, and Kevin Mack, a big back with speed, takes it to the outside and bounces ahead for a first down. Shane Conlon and Kirby Jackson finally got him.
That's Cleveland's first down. Took them 4 series to get their first down. And frankly, Kevin Mack had to break a clean tackle to pick it up.
All his teammates raving about his performance this year. Kosar said yesterday you can't give him enough credit. We haven't won, so nobody's noticed, but he's played terrific football. Eric Metcalf has not been getting the yards from scrimmage. He's averaging only 1.5 yards a rush. Last year, Eric Metcalf scored 10 touchdowns. This year, he scored none so far as we check the Xerox 10-minute ticker. Washington-Detroit now final as the Redskins win on a field goal in overtime. Bears up on the Bucks at Tampa Bay. As mentioned, Houston, the Rams are tied. San Diego is now up 14-7 at Seattle. And the Browns are down 14-0 here at Cleveland. Hagel, hard throw and a connection as he gets the ball over the middle, and taking it down is the veteran Ozzie Newsome to the 32-yard line of Buffalo.
Browns that time spread. Eric Metcalf out as a wide receiver. Cornelius Bennett went with him in coverage. You see he runs the go pattern. Hagel takes the choice of throwing to Newsome inside. Metcalf wants the ball. Quietly go back to the huddle, tell the quarterback or the quarterback coach, I'm open on that play. Newsome makes his first catch of the day.
Now the Browns, with their best offense of the day, have it 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Mack, who is a knockout runner, he's knocked 3 defensive backs out of the game this season when they've taken him on. This time as he tries to go wide, the Bills come over and knock him down.
Looked like Bruce Smith along with Bentley out there to make the tackle. Again, though, very few options for Kevin Mack to run. He had to bounce that run to the outside. He is one tough cookie, Kevin Mack.
From Clemson, played his first 2 years in the U.S. Football League with the L.A. Express. Hagel, a tip ball. It's up for grabs, and John Hagee couldn't make the interception. The free safety, John Hagee, had a play on the ball. It goes as an incomplete pass, and 3rd down comes up for Cleveland. 3rd and over 10.
Again, Eric Metcalf, that time coming in motion, was wide open on the sideline. Hagel chose to go to the tight end. The ball was tipped. Very lucky it was not intercepted. And there's Bud Carson on the sideline. A tough couple of weeks for Bud Carson.
He was saying yesterday, Trump, he thinks this is the best Bills team he's ever seen. He's coached against them with various teams over the years.
And they are playing like champions.
They came of age really in that series against Denver, then the Raiders, then the Jets, rallying 3 straight weeks to win in the 4th quarter. Last week they dominated New England. Hagel with an open man. Brian Brennan makes a diving catch. It's good inside the 10-yard line.
First chance the Browns fans have had to cheer, and this is an outstanding catch by Brian Brennan. Right on the fingertips, a 26-yard completion. Hagel to Brennan. Herbie Jackson in coverage. First down, Cleveland. Obviously their best drive so far.
The sure-handed one from Boston College, who had 2 drops early in the game. He probably hasn't done that in consecutive passes since he's been in grammar school. Then he makes the sensational play, and the Browns in position to get back in the game. Hagel wants a timeout. So Mike with Bob Trump, it could be a critical point in this game for the Browns, Trump. If they don't take it in here, they might be out.
Yeah, a very significant drive, and it's been well orchestrated by Jim Schaffner and Mike Pagel. Big catch by Brian Brennan. So now a little confidence on the side of the Cleveland Browns offense. When they get down here, though, you got to run the football, and that's what Cleveland has had great trouble doing. This is where you want to fire Kevin Mack up through there.
Browns last in rushing. Bill Walsh, a strong proponent. You have to run it on short yardage and goal line. They try the pass, and it's knocked away by Bentley. Still hasn't lost anything off his fastball, Mike Pagel, but Bentley got a hand in and slapped it back, number 50.
Right down the middle, Bentley tries, Pagel tries to go. Ray Bentley, the middle linebacker, excellent coverage on the Wizard, Ozzie Newsome. And I wouldn't be surprised here if you try to get a screen somehow to Eric Metcalf.
I told Ozzie yesterday he's going to play longer than Gordie Howe. He said, that's something to think about. Ozzie is now in his 13th year from Alabama. Hagel, a slant pattern, touchdown, Cleveland. Webster Slaughter.
Flag.
Markers down.
Buffalo is saying it's against Cleveland.
Whoa. Absolutely laser-sharp throw and catch, but it's negated on a foul on the offense.
Pass interference, number 82 offense, still second down.
Well, they call it on Ozzie Newsome. Well, that's the way it's gone for the Browns. They finally get one in and a penalty.
Second down comes up now for Cleveland at the 18-yard line. So far, they've done a pretty good job on Bruce Smith. Nobody else has this season. Here is Pagel, another fastball. That's too low for Brian Brennan, uncatchable.
Four wide receiver set. Mike Pagel had time. There's Zeke Bratkowski, the quarterback coach. He's signaling the play in from Jim Schaffner.
Trumpy, a former skilled catcher of the ball. You couldn't get this one, though, could you?
Now, that's tough. When that ball sinks down at your feet, that's a very difficult catch to make. And Brennan just couldn't get down there to get his hands on it.
Now third down comes up as Pagel aligns in the shotgun. 3rd and goal from the 18. Brennan can't run under it. 4th down, and the kicking team comes out. So the Browns had a touchdown and lost it on a penalty, and now they'll try a field goal. Try to get on the board with 9:14 to play in the first half.
Now, you mentioned we hadn't heard much from Bruce Smith. He was in there that time right on the chest of Mike Pagel. He's on Paul Farron's 74. But you can see 65. Tam is also helping Bruce Smith there to bother the knees of the quarterback. Makes the quarterback think the next time. Corrick on for the kick here.
Corrick was an all-pro kicker in the Canadian Football League last season. He's 8 of 10 on field goals this year. He's blocked. Live ball, and John Hagee is on the run. He's across the 40.
That is the 17th block kick by the Buffalo Bills since Marv Levy became a head coach and Bruce DeHaven became the special teams coach.
And that critically important challenge of the Browns is thrown back at them. A touchdown negated on a penalty, then the field goal blocked, and the Bills have the ball in a 14-0 lead.
Now, Corrick does kick the ball low. Snap is not bad, a little high, but there's not much pressure up front. They just get their hands up.
Looked like Shane Conlon might have got it. And 58.
The snap was a little high, and Pagel had trouble getting it down, and there's the block.
So the Bills, who are among the best, they say Albert Lewis of Kansas City, he got one today against the Raiders, might be the best. But here's a handoff to Thurman Thomas, and the Browns defense reading 34 from the snap. Gets him for only a gain of a yard.
This year, as a matter of fact, when they look back at this season, that blocked field goal against Denver, when Buffalo then scored 21 points in 77 seconds, turned around the season for the Buffalo Bills. They were losing to Denver, being pushed all over the field. And that block kick by Nate Odom, picked up by Cornelius Bennett. And they're in business from there.
In business with a 2nd and 9. The Bills use the stopwatch. They break everything down to hundredths of seconds. If the field goal try isn't away in 1.32, they think they can get it. 1.32 seconds. Here's a marker in as the ball is caught by Andre Reed. Andre Reed running in the open field, turns the corner. He has a blocker. And we'll see if there's an illegal block before he cut back.
Now, I think that's going to be on the Buffalo Bills. It looked to me like James Lofton was running a screen for Andre Reed. You see James Lofton, 80 there? He's lobbying. Let's see if we can pick up what happens. Lofton is on the outside. He gets by Minifield. Raymond Claiborne had a hold of the jersey of Andre Reed here, too, but it looks like the call is going to be against Buffalo. I think they're going to call this on 80.
Use of hands, number 80 offense, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 30 defense, offsetting penalties, replay the down.
Boy, is that a break for Buffalo. Paying Gash. Unnecessary roughness at the end of the play. Boy, oh boy. Here's the end of the run. There's Mike Johnson. And Thane Gash gives him a little shove, and the flag goes down.
I mean, you wouldn't send a guy to the chair for that, though, would you? Patted him on the bet. It's 2nd down and 9 now. Offsetting penalties. 7:34 to play first half. Bills with a 14-0 lead. Kelly with a problem. He gets it away. And it's an even bigger problem is Andre Reed as the loss is all the way back to the 24.
Boy, they blow that one up. Clay Matthews comes on the blitz. And it looks like it's going to be a reverse or a reverse pass. Watch how long Kelly has this ball. He fakes to Mueller. There's Clay Matthews. The lateral to Reed. And Rob Burnett there to make the tackle. That's a nice loss of about 12 or 13 yards. Let's not call that play again.
Now the Bills going from some of the best execution we've seen all season to some bad news Bears football. They're set all the way back now to their 26-yard line. 3rd down and 24. Kelly will let it rip. He likes Lofton deep a lot. Now he goes to the run. And the Browns stay home. Defending nicely is Rob Burnett, rookie from Syracuse, who they expect big things from.
Now, Don, with the way this game is going and to change people's mind, you almost have to go for a punt block here. Try to get your offense decent field position. Anything to put a little spark in the offense here for Cleveland.
Now the Bills ready to punt the ball. There is Rick Tootin. You see his first of the day was 37 yards. Stephon Adams, a very fast return man, is back. Low kick. He should run it back if he can get it on the 1 or 2 hops, but he cannot. Bills down so quickly under the punted ball. So the Browns, who challenged their last possession and were thrown back, now start again from their 40. Well, glory straight out. Just beyond those flags is the vast expanse of Lake Erie, and the soon-to-be winter winds are starting to whip down from Canada as the Cleveland Browns, down 14-0, work here in the second quarter, wind at their back. 1st and 10. Throwing a catch out to the 47-yard line. Ozzie Newsome with his second grab of the day. His 11th of the season.
Well, again, the Browns are trying to trick Buffalo here a little bit. They're running Metcalf out of the backfield. That's drawing Cornelius Bennett out there, and then Ozzie Newsome catches the pass up underneath. That's something they can go back to now.
Bills' only loss this season was a 30-7 drubbing at the hands of the Dolphins at Joe Robbie Stadium. Buffalo's been winning every week just to keep pace with Miami. Dolphins' only loss was to the Giants. Dolphins winning today are 7-1 as Kevin Mack takes tacklers with him. And on 2nd and 3, he goes ahead for 10 yards and a first down. Let's go back now to NFL Live. Bob?
Don, this play caps the biggest comeback in the league so far. Overtime at the Silverdome, and Chip Lohmiller connects from 34 yards out. The Redskins beat the Lions 41-38 after trailing with 10 minutes to go in the third quarter by 3 touchdowns. They were down 35-14. Jeff Rutledge came off the bench, led the big comeback. Washington's 5-3.
We're back to live action. Thank you, Bob. As Pagel now hands the ball off. Kevin Mack trying to straight arm tacklers. Shane Conlon runs him down on a first down carry.
That catch by Ozzie Newsome just moved him up to 4th on the all-time list of receivers. The all-time leading tight end receiver in the history of the NFL. It's a nice group.
Hall of Fame names. James Lofton of the Bills is number 8 all-time. Lofton, who came here as a complete free agent to Buffalo, has had a sensational season, averaging over 21 yards a catch. On 2nd and long, they go to Metcalf. He does a dance, but can't lose the tacklers. Does get down to the 35-yard line. And it'll be 3rd and 3 from there. Alton Bailey, inside backer, got him. 54.
Boy, will that keep your defense honest. You get a young man like that with his foot speed out there loose in the flat. This looks like it's designed to go to Metcalf. He's sitting right back here, and all it is a little swing pass, and you hope all the pursuit gets caught up in the wash. You see 82 kind of seals off Carlton Bailey. 54. Let's pick up Cleveland Browns.
You see the Browns need 3 on 3rd down. Quick timing pattern. It's caught by Webster Slaughter, and he's inside the 20. Down to the 16-yard line. First down, Cleveland.
Chris Hale makes the tackle. An all-pro move by Webster Slaughter. Last year, of course, Slaughter almost 1,200 yards receiving. And the more you can get him involved in your offense, the better chances you have of winning.
Browns now go from a spread formation. They throw 90% of the time on first down out of this. This time they go to the run, and it is the fullback, Kevin Mack. The Bills coach is pointing out 90% of the time on first down. If Eric Metcalf is flanked, they'll throw the ball. They change it up, go to Mack on first down, and he gets 5. Kevin Mack missed 13 games last season. Best year is his first as a Cleveland Brown. He rushed for 1,100 yards. So we're down to the 2-minute warning. Back at Cleveland, Coach Bud Carson looking for points. He thought his team had a touchdown his last possession. Indeed, they had a reception in the end zone by Slaughter, but it was negated by a penalty. And Coach Levy's Buffalo Bills are still throwing a shutout, 14-0. It's now 2nd down and 5 for Cleveland. Wind really picking up, but both quarterbacks passing well. In fact, Kelly 6 for 6. Pagel 8 for 14. Mack struggling up the middle, inside the 10-yard line. Leon Seals, 96, was the first tackler.
Again, the Browns go with the spread offense and try to run the trap up through the middle. And Mack has very few options. And it's well handled by the Buffalo defense. Everyone stands their ground. Spread everybody and try to run it right up the middle. Excellent job by Leon Seals staying at home.
Spread formation on 3rd and 3. Pagel on a sprint out, running out of time into the end zone. Brian Brennan can't make the play. Too much on the ball. And the Browns have to go to the field goal try again.
Don, that was intended to be a shovel pass. Buffalo, he was going to shovel that ball to Kevin Mack right up in front of him. But Bruce Smith was right there to disrupt the whole thing. Watch what happens. If Bruce Smith stays right there, there's Kevin Mack. He's tackled by the nose tackle, Jeff Wright. Pagel has nobody to throw it to, so he tries to get Brennan in the end zone.
Too much on it. You see Brian Brennan go way up.
Look, there's not even a designed pass pattern in that play. That's a shovel pass all the way.
Work, bad. Whoa! So the Browns misfire again, and the Bills take over at the Cleveland 32-yard line. Bud Carson talking about we find new ways to lose every week.
The snapper is a new acquisition for the Cleveland Browns, Mike Morris, and he puts it right over Pagel's head. Now, last week, Tam replaced Morris because he snaps it so hard. Well, this one goes right over Pagel's head. That's totally on the snapper. And a field goal blocked, and a field goal gone awry. Watch Pagel. Nothing he can do. The best thing to do is just get on the ball and make sure that the Buffalo Bills don't pick it up.
Kelly over the middle to Thurman Thomas. And the zone defense of Cleveland hems him in, makes the knockdown at the 38-yard line. Bills will align without a huddle now as the game clock is down inside a minute to play in the first half. 56 seconds to play. Kelly on 2nd and 4. Takes what the defense gives him, and Thurman Thomas gets a first down to the 45. And the Bills let it keep running.
They've got 2 timeouts left.
35 seconds and running. Kelly an over the middle throw, and he's got his man, Andre Reed, all the way down to the 30-yard line. And the Bills call a timeout.
The defense is kind of coming apart here in this rush by Buffalo.
That is their second timeout. That'll be a 40-second timeout.
Bernie Kosar continues to warm up, maybe just to keep warm.
Well, I'm kind of surprised to see the Buffalo Bills just kind of go through this defense like this. It looked like it was a very lax coverage. That was a 25-yard completion. Kelly to Andre Reed happens on the left-hand side of the screen, and he's right underneath the deep coverage and above the linebacker coverage. Watch how much room Andre Reed has when this ball is thrown to him. Oh, there's a bunch of room there. Rick Claiborne makes the first contact, but even though there's not much time left in the half, you've got to have tighter coverage than that.
Our producer today for NBC Sports is Glenn Adamo, director John McDonough. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. We're at sold-out Cleveland Stadium every year. The Bills and the Browns vie for the NFL leadership in attendance. The Bills lead this year, averaging just under 80,000 a game. Almost 80,000 here today as Kelly on a 1st and 10 with 25 seconds to play in the half. Fastball, and Andre Reed makes the play at the 24-yard line.
Browns that time had 7 defensive backs in the ball game. Bills will try to get another playoff here. Just throw the ball down and stop the clock.
That's legal. So Kelly stops the clock with 8 seconds. It'll be a long field goal try, and the difficulty level is raised because they're going into the wind. Wind swirls here, but it's no different than where the Bills play their home games in Orchard Park, New York. Gusting, swirling winds. Virtually every game they play there is in wind.
Cleveland, first half, been very generous for the Buffalo Bills. Blocked field goal, missed field goal attempt.
Browns have moved the ball, but when they've gotten down close, it's all come apart. Norwood, a 43-yard field goal. Frank Reich is the holder. No good. That one never had a chance, so the Bills missed that opportunity, but they still hold to a 14-0 lead, looking to extend their win streak to 6 in a row. At halftime, we'll be going to NFL Live to Bob Costas, Will McDonough, and O.J. Simpson. Remember, O.J. talking about the first game he ever played was here at Cleveland Stadium against the Chicago Bears, if you can believe that. And Dick Butkus was out against the Bears. It was one of those doubleheaders, the preseason doubleheaders they used to have.
How was that experience?
Well, O.J. wasn't thrilled to have Butkus hunting him down out of bounds, I know.
Neither was anybody else when Butkus played.
You went to college with him.
Yeah, everybody looked for the sideline, even in practice.
Now the Browns run it out. That'll conclude play in the first half. So the boos cascade down. Boos that make the players feel bad and disturb those who've dozed off. But Buffalo hasn't put anybody to sleep as Marv Levy's team has jumped out to a 14-0 lead.
Turnovers. We haven't had a sack. Time of possession pretty even. Yards pretty even. The 14 points by Buffalo, the difference.
Wagner now kicks off. A knuckleball hit downfield, and Don Beebe wisely lets it go through the end zone. So it'll come out to the 20, and there Jim Kelly and the Bills offense will start to operate first down and 10.
There's Mr. and Mrs. Art Modell. Pat Modell doesn't normally sit over there with the owner and president of the Cleveland Browns. That's Mike Lombardi right behind Art Modell. Not liking what they're seeing, that's for sure.
Browns had their chances and probably will again. They've done all right moving the ball, just couldn't take it in. They fell apart when they were down close. And they've done a good job handing in Thurman Thomas. He's averaging under 4 yards a rush today, coming in averaging almost 6 a pop. Thane Gash, the strong safety, was the tackler for Cleveland. Across the defensive front of the Browns, Baker, Pike, Perry, and Banks. You see Kelly's first half numbers, 10 of 11 for 98 yards.
Probably the most important thing for Buffalo in that first half was that they scored on their first possession. That has been a big key in the last couple of weeks for Buffalo.
Did the same last week against New England. Ted Marchibroda, the offensive coordinator, says Kelly is completely comfortable with his offense now, and he makes a nice connection to Andre Reed, and he's out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Kelly was a bit hesitant coming into a new offense when he came to Buffalo with Marchibroda, but now everybody's on the same page and trying to turn up the yards.
Again, Buffalo gets what it wants here. And you can see linebacker coverage 57 on 83. That ends up being a 16-yard pickup. Andre Reed finally out of bounds. That's his 6th catch of the game so far. Hit 5 in the first half.
Sensational player, Andre Reed, a 4th-round pick from Kutztown State in Pennsylvania. 2-time Pro Bowler. Kelly on first down, lets it go long. James Lofton trying to run under it, and it's almost intercepted by Felix Wright.
Boy, did Michael Dean Perry ever hammer Jim Kelly.
Browns are a high percentage blitz team. They came with a big rush, and Kelly let it go long.
I'm amazed that Kelly's able to throw the ball that far with Michael Dean Perry right in his chest. At the end of the play, sometimes the receiver has to turn defender, and that ball goes right through Felix Wright's hand. He's normally a very sure-handed interceptor, but I thought Lofton may have tipped it or something, but Wright just missed it.
So the Bills get a break of sorts, and now they throw again on second down. And there's a wide-open Andre Reed just coming underneath the zone coverage, and he's still on the run. Andre Reed inside the 30 and the 20. And finally, they take him down at the 17-yard line. Stephen Braggs, the free safety, saved a touchdown, but the Bills are down close again.
Don Braggs holds up on the attempted tackle to try to strip the ball away from Andre Reed, and Reed picks up another 10 or 12 yards. This is a crossing pattern by Reed. Watch him catch it. It ends up being a 43-yard catch, but there's Braggs 36. Now watch as Reed runs. Braggs catches up to him, but he's trying to strip the ball away so he doesn't make the tackle. And then he finally gets him on the ground. Big pickup. Buffalo.
Thurman Thomas up the middle, but this time the Browns are waiting as they again pull that big guard, John Davis. Blocks that sprung Thurman Thomas on the same play for a touchdown down at this end.
Yeah, you're right. That was the counter series that Tom Bresnahan, the offensive line coach, brought with him from Phoenix. This guy is absolutely unique. He's like Barry Sanders for the Detroit Lions, both out of Oklahoma State. They can go to their spread or shotgun formation with him in the ball game, and so often they get linebacker coverage on Thurman Thomas, and he just eats it alive.
On second down and almost 10. Kelly takes a quick drop. Timing throw. There's a foul in the end zone on a Cleveland defender who was covering James Lofton, Raymond Claiborne. And the Bills will go first and goal from the 1-yard line.
interference. Number 26 defense in the end zone. The ball will be put on the 1-yard line. First down.
Might be the knockout punch from
Claiborne never has a chance to look back. You can see his left hand has a hold of the jersey of James Lofton. I think that was pretty clear. Good call by the officials. So the Bills start the game with a drive for a score. They're going to start the second half for a drive with a drive for a score.
Kenneth Davis over the top, and markers come in. He didn't get into the end zone. That'd be a hold on the offense. The umpire threw a flag in.
12 men on the field. Defense.
Cleveland with 12 men on the field.
And no one's left yet. There he comes out. Raymond Claiborne is the extra man on the field. Didn't even realize he was the extra man. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not Bud Carson should stay as the head coach or not, but when ownership sees 12 guys on the field, that does not bode well for the head coach.
Raymond Claiborne, a 4-time All-Pro player with the Patriots, was picked up as a very expensive Plan B free agent in the offseason. It led to the holdout of a number of Brown defenders who wanted the same kind of money. And that set Cleveland back in the preseason. The top people not in camp. Now from the 1-yard line, first and goal. Mueller takes it in. Jamie Mueller, a native Clevelander, gets a touchdown against the team he grew up as a big fan of.
They run the tight end wham. There's Marv Levy. Come on now, defense. Hold him, hold him. And Bud Carson on the other side of the field. That drive started at Buffalo's 20. They go 80 yards right down the field. An awful lot of it to Andre Reed.
And Trump, there's no question that the Bud watch intensifies. The Bud watch on Coach Carson began. Then the Browns went to Denver and rallied from behind a stirring 30-29 victory. It intensified, did the Bud watch, after they were blasted by the Bengals at home 34-13. Bud stock picked up on a terrific effort by his team, losing by 3 at San Francisco last week. But fans wearing the team colors on their faces as the Bills looking sharp with a 21-0 lead. The Bills have been a notoriously poor away team. They've not done well on the visiting field in recent years, but now they're going for back-to-back wins in away games, having beaten the Patriots at Foxborough last week. Here comes Metcalf. 25, and Eric Metcalf, an All-American and a Southwest Conference long jump champion from the University of Texas. He takes it out across the 25-yard line.
And if you look at that touchdown again, interesting choice here by Buffalo. It's the tight end wham. And the tight end comes in motion. He gets the nose tackle. Gibson, 71. Mueller runs right in behind it. Well executed. They get just enough contact on the Cleveland Browns defensive line that Mueller gets in for a score.
Browns now have to go to a pass offense to get back in this game, even though we're early in the third quarter. And Pagel looks to pump it on first down. Webster Slaughter, but it's incomplete. Shane Conlon, a Pro Bowl linebacker for the Bills, was covering, number 58 out of Penn State. And now let's check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Kansas City a winner over the Raiders. 49ers won again at Green Bay. Miami keeping the heat on Buffalo. New Orleans an upset winner. Washington rallying from 17 points down, wins at Detroit in overtime. Philadelphia beats New England easily. The Jets starting to come on under their new coach Bruce Coslett. And Pittsburgh rallied from 9 points down to beat Atlanta. Penalty markers down and a run straight up the middle. It looked for a while, Trump, like Jerry Glanville was going to win the AFC Central, even though he's out of the division. He blasted Houston. And he also had, as we now look, the Bears with a 17-0 lead over Tampa Bay. That's a legit contender
Holding.
again.
Number 65 offense. Penalty decline. Third down.
Ralph Tam holding on the trap up the middle to Kevin Mack.
Mike Babb is the center. Ralph Tam and Greg Riccozzi are the guards. Sarin and huge Tony Jones at the tackle. Number 66, Tony Jones, so huge they say his picture falls off the wall. 340 pounds. Pagel. Markers go down, so does Pagel. Bills blitz, and they get to him. A rookie from UCLA got there, Marcus Patton, number 53.
Well, you're in a position offensively where third down and long, trailing 21-0, and you have to throw the ball time after time after time. You turn a pass rush defense loose like the Buffalo Bills. That's not a situation you're going to win offensively.
Offside, number 78 defense, still third down.
Bruce Smith offsides, but I think the damage was done. That was going to be a deep pattern thrown by the Cleveland Browns there. And one of the few times that Pagel sets up deep and the receivers run deep, pressure all over the place.
Third down, 4.
Penalty, step off makes it a third down and 4 play. Four-man rush. Throwing a catch. Brian Brennan to head for a first down for Cleveland.
Brennan with excellent hands. He's in the slot. He's got great coverage all over the place. Buffalo does. It's a zone coverage. Brennan finally makes the catch.
Number 29, who's just been activated, David Poole, made the tackle for the Bills. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Buffalo extending its 14-0 halftime lead to 21-0. Pagel looking to throw, swings it out to Metcalf on first down. He was looking as much at Bentley as he was at the ball.
Yes, he was. Ray Bentley was right out there. And the ball, Leon Seals comes in on the pressure on Pagel, and Pagel has to get over Seals and somehow get it to Metcalf, and Bentley is right out there to yell, scream, and holler. Watch 50 Bentley just follow Metcalf out to the flat. See 50 right there? And Seals is tied up with Tony Jones, and just a little overthrown for Eric Metcalf. So pure pass rush situation here for Buffalo. Pagel better watch out.
Right. Second and 10, a tip ball, and it's caught by Brian Brennan. He's ahead for a gain of about 8 yards. It'll be 3rd and 2. Bennett brought him down. So Pagel gets lucky starting today for Bernie Kosar, who's in good health. But Kosar on the bench.
Yeah, that ball is tipped, but it doesn't go out of round. Let's see who hits it. Bentley hits it. Look at the thing stays in a spiral. Brennan makes the catch.
Last season, there were only 6 NFL quarterbacks who started all 16 games. Kosar was one. Randall Cunningham of the Eagles, Jim Everett of the Rams, Mikowski of the Packers, Moon of the Oilers, and Marino of the Dolphins. Those were the only 6 that started all 16 regular season games. Here's a throw to Brian Brennan on the run. And Brennan, who's not supposed to be fast, kicks into another gear and takes it to the Buffalo 30.
Best thing about Brian Brennan is his guts. He's not afraid to take a hit. That's a 22-yard reception, and he knows he's got coverage close by. Is able to slip the tackle of James Williams. Hagee, 22, finally gets Brennan on the ground after a 22-yard pickup.
Brennan putting up some good numbers now, Trump.
As 4th catch, 61 yards on the day.
Pagel looking for more. Up top, over the middle throw. It's incomplete as they put the heat on Pagel. He just got it away. Ozzie Newsome was his intended receiver. Kick off your night on NBC and find out what you didn't know. Richard Kiley and Jane Wallace host The Story Behind the Story, followed by the critically acclaimed new series Life Stories. Then Tom Selleck, Ted Danson, and Steve Guttenberg star on the network premiere of the box office smash 3 Men and a Baby, tonight only on NBC. Mike Pagel from Tempe, Arizona, where he played college football at Arizona State, drafted by the then Baltimore Colts in '82. Throws another timing pattern, and it's good for a hit down to the 23-yard line. Webster Slaughter caught the ball.
And you're talking about Pagel's college and professional football career. He suffered the indignity of in college playing for Frank Kush and then playing for Frank Kush with the Baltimore Colts.
That wasn't a happy experience?
You ought to get a medal for that. Maybe
Frank,
2 middles.
You drop a ball in practice, and old Frank would have you run 5 miles in the desert.
Or back to town, whichever is further.
I don't know what he'd do if you drop one in a game. Won a lot of games for the Sun Devils, though. 3rd down and 3. And Cornelius Bennett, like a big hawk, sweeps in and knocks it down again.
Now, Buffalo came with the all-out blitz that time, Don. Bennett was untouched. The hot receiver was out that way, was Kevin Mack, but Bennett knocks it down. Watch the all-out blitz. See, the tight end releases. There's Mack, 34. He's the hot receiver. Pagel recognizes it, but the athletic ability of Cornelius Bennett allows him to knock the ball away, and it looks like the Browns are going for it.
4th down and 3. Bennett's in tremendous physical condition, as is Bruce Smith. Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator, said they just kill those workout machines the Bills have, a stair machine and a treadmill. And now on 4th and 3, Pagel brings Eric Metcalf in motion and looks his way. Metcalf, he has the ball.
Does he have enough, though?
This spot will tell a big story. The Bills didn't think he got there.
Oh, it's going to be close. Now the Browns are the coaching staff's acting like they got it. They did.
Browns really should be right in this game.
Yeah, they got to feel good being down just 21-0 with the bad field position they've had. Looks like it's just over that yard marker there, but it is a 1st down for Cleveland. Keep the drive alive.
Browns have had a touchdown call back, touchdown pass, and an interference call. Had a field goal attempt blocked. We're down close another time and couldn't get points. Now Pagel wants a timeout. You hate to burn him this early in the 2nd half, but he's got to do it. NBC is the place to be for more great American Conference action beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. Then most of you will see the red-hot Miami Dolphins go against the Jets. Then we'll see the Colts against the Patriots, the 4 o'clock game, Denver at San Diego. And OJ will have a feature on the resurgent Miami defense. The new no-name defensive coach Shula, which shut down Phoenix, held him to 3 points today in another Miami win. Slaughter taking the option pass is instead ignominiously slammed to the turf.
Yeah, reverse pass.
James Williams
was going to Brian Brennan. Buffalo didn't buy it, and Williams there to make the tackle. That's an awful lot of effort for very little. You see the reverse to Slaughter. He wants to throw to Brennan, but there is good coverage down the field, and then Williams is there to dump him to the ground.
And the Jets trump under your old roommate, Bruce Coslett, having a heck of a year. They won their 4th game today, beat Dallas, and that's as many wins as the Jets had all of last season. And they could have a couple more. They almost beat the Bills and almost beat the Bengals. On 2nd and 15, Pagel throws up the middle, and Ozzie Newsome, who's done it hundreds of times, takes him the ball and goes down to the 11-yard line.
There's something wrong with that pattern because Kevin Mack was right underneath where Ozzie Newsome was making the catch. I mean, it's a good job done by all involved, but you see 82 release. Now you see Mack release 34. Mack puts his hands up to catch it. Newsome does make the reception, but Kevin Mack should not have been there. That's for sure.
Ozzie Newsome has now caught 660 passes in his standout career, on his way to Canton, not far south of Cleveland someday, in the Hall of Fame. Up in the air, it's intercepted by the Bills. Darryl Talley, who grew up in Cleveland, went to Shaw High School. His brother's a tight end for the Browns. A man who leads the Bills in tackles season after season has a big day.
That is the 3rd time now the Cleveland Browns inside the 20. No points. This one knocked down by Mike Pagel. The folks here in Cleveland think that Bernie Kosar is the only one that gets the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, but it's happened to Pagel. Collapses right back into Mike Pagel's chest. He's trying to get the ball out there, but it bounces off the shoulder pads of Seals. Talley makes the interception. Buffalo ball.
To live action, 1st and 10 Bills. Thurman Thomas. Marker down. If the Browns were salesmen, they'd have a good pitch, but they just can't close. 2-point out Trump inside the 20 3 times with no points. Once in the end zone.
Yeah,
with no
once
points.
in the end zone and no points. An illegal use of the hands by Cleveland.
Jerry Seaman will be moving to 410 Park Avenue next year in the NFL Executive Office. He'll replace Art McNally as the supervisor of NFL
Illegal
officials.
hands to the face. Defense. First down.
You talk about a change in lifestyle. Jerry Seaman lives outside Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he's moving to New York. Can you imagine what that might be like?
This game's going into New York, Trump.
I'm sorry about that, but can you imagine moving from outside Minneapolis to inside New York?
Whoa! A 360. Kenneth Davis doing tricks with the help of the Browns. Clay Matthews upended him. This was another very strong Plan B acquisition by the Bills. Kenneth Davis, a runner from Green Bay.
Lead block by Mueller, 51 on Grayson, 56. He goes airborne. Looks like something they run between the ropes on Saturday morning or Saturday evening late, don't they?
Second and 1.
2nd down and 6. Handoff goes straight ahead and out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. You obviously, Trumpy, not a fan of the Big Apple.
Oh, great fan, as long as I live in Cincinnati. Great fan.
It is a great city. I remember Sparky Lyle, when he was relief pitcher for the Yankees, said the one thing he always did when he rode in that little car from the bullpen, he locked the doors. But he was only kidding. Markers come out now as the game clock is stopped with 4:25 to play. 3rd quarter. And while they measure, we'll check the Hertz 10-minute ticker. The Bears moving on, extending their lead over the Bucs to 23-0. I heard Will McDonough say today that even if Tampa Bay loses the rest of the games this season, he talked to Hugh Culverhouse. Ray Perkins is his coach, and for the rest of this season and next. Rams leading Houston. Important development in the AFC Central, where the Pittsburgh Steelers are a rising power. San Diego, a tough team to handicap, winning at Seattle, which is tough to do. 3rd and short. Our run. Browns might have stopped it. Good call for another measurement. Game clock running with 4:05 to play in the 3rd quarter, and the temperatures dropping. And the winds, which were gusting at the outset of the day, have now become a steady gale.
At the front that was in Kansas City for the early game today, Raiders Kansas City, now coming through the Ohio Valley here, and they are expecting rain sometime this evening. The wind is a factor always in the stadium. Now there's encroachment by Chris Pike, 75. Encroachment is contact.
Hey, when these young Browns come together, they got some huge guys. Look at this guy, Chris Pike.
Number 75 defense. Still first down.
6'7", 320 pounds.
At least.
He's past that.
Speaking of specimens.
You just stand him out there, he's going to scare somebody.
And you see Pike contact with the center, Kent Hull. Speaking of specimens, didn't Marv Levy tell us last night that Bruce Smith, at the 6'5½", 284 pounds, has 6% body fat?
Yeah.
That is a genetic phenomenon right there. How in the world can they get that big and be that muscular?
Mueller straight ahead out close to the 30-yard line. Smith has, for the most part, been shut down to a degree today by a good offensive tackle, Paul Farron. But he is having a fantastic year. If you graded out every player in the league, he might be the best player in the National Football League this season.
The greatest compliment to a guy like Bruce Smith is the same compliment you pay Michael Dean Perry, and that is you've got to prepare your offense for him. You just can't go in there and ignore him. If you don't have special plans for him, he will put your quarterback on a stretcher.
He's got great ability and great pride. He drives himself to be the best player in the game. On second and short. Around jump. Were they drawn? This is not the Cleveland football we've seen in recent years. This
number 92 defense.
A very proud tradition of the Cleveland Browns. It's lost some of its luster this season. They'll be back, but this is not Cleveland Brown football.
Yeah, I'm sure to Cleveland Brown fans and members of the management of the Cleveland Browns and ownership, that game against Denver for the conference championship last year, it's got to seem like 10 years ago.
First and 10 at the 44.
Well, as mentioned, the Browns in the 4 seasons prior to this one won more games than any team in the NFL, including the 49ers. Kelly throws. Incomplete. It'll be second down and 10.
He just basically threw this away. He was looking down the field, and then Smith and it looked like Andre Reed are out there. He is wide open, but you see Minifield 31 standing there just making sure, but he just throws that thing so if anybody catches it, it's certainly out of bounds.
There's a very strong Jim Kelly connection with Cleveland. The Bills traded linebacker Tom Cousineau to the Browns for a first-round pick, and they used it to take Jim Kelly.
Oh, you had to bring that up, didn't you? Trailing 21-0, you had to bring that up.
Some years back, here is a run by Thurman Thomas on second and 10 yards, and he doesn't get much. Browns shut him down, as they have for the most part. They've stopped the long gainers other than that one bust he had on the great blocking when he went in for his second touchdown of the day in the second quarter.
This game has certainly crawled along here in the last few minutes. I mean, I don't think either team is distinguishing themselves here. Buffalo leading 21-0, about to win their 6th straight. Keep pace with the Miami Dolphins. And Cleveland with the bye week next week. I'm sure there's a great deal of trepidation on this football team. They don't know who's going to be standing on the sideline, and nor do they know who's going to be playing in 2 weeks.
Good point. They're off. There's a bye week for the AFC Central next week. Now we have a Bill leaving early. Andre Reed left early. But was Bob Bukowski? Did he jump first for the Browns?
And now the receiver can get back. But if Bukowski was drawn off, Reed moves, Bukowski moves.
I think it's Reed. It's about the only thing he's done wrong in recent weeks. What a player.
Encroachment, number 94 defense.
Reed hasn't done anything wrong.
See, the reason they make that call is the receiver has the opportunity to get back across the line of scrimmage and set for a second. But I don't know how in the world they can not see Andre Reed 3 yards down the field.
Talking to Bernie Kosar at practice yesterday, he said if you want to signal out a problem we had, it's definitely just mistakes. Oh. Little mistakes, if there's such a thing.
Bukowski steps right on the foot of Jim Kelly.
So the Bills now go 3rd and over 2. Big rush. Kelly with a nicely timed throw, but Thurman Thomas can't hold the ball. He might have been out of here.
Well, he doesn't miss many.
He gets a step on you, and that's it.
Dane Gash was the man in coverage. Davis going back without his helmet. This is almost illegal because it's a pick. Thomas is on the outside. Dane Gash is in coverage. There you see McKellers. Oh, if he catches that one, you're right. He's got about 20 yards down the field.
In that AFC divisional playoff game, Thurman Thomas had 13 catches for 150 yards. There's a chance starting up here, Trumpy. There's a hit downfield now. The punt by Tootin is going to be taken by Stephon Adams. He's down at the 18. Did you pick up that chance?
No, I did not pick up the chance. And there's Bernie on the Kosar. Bernie on the sideline. And Pagel comes back in. Of course, that poll here, they wanted Pagel to start a quarterback. Now they want Bernie back in there.
The Cleveland Browns, one of the NFL's powers in recent years, now off to a 2-7 start. If they lose this one, they'll have lost 4 straight and 7 of their last 8 games. Owner Art Modell looking on. perhaps mulling a decision on the coach. It's certainly been speculated here for weeks now, as Mike Pagel throws on first down and is not close to Eric Metcalf.
It's not as if the Cleveland Browns have not had their chances today. Of course, I'm not sure it's a popular or unpopular choice of Pagel to start, but look at there. Inside the 20 3 times. Come up with no points. But they also had remember, the touchdown called back, and then the blocked field goal. I mean, they've had it down there. They just haven't been able to put it in.
Second and 10. Looks like the Browns got it back. Kevin Mack was the ball carrier as the clock ticks down now to 50 seconds to play in the third quarter. And the Bills continue to lead the game 21-0. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy at Cleveland Stadium, where the Bills have not won since 1974. Browns have won 7 of 9 career meetings against Buffalo, and 5 in a row.
That man right there, Bernie Kosar, has never lost to the Buffalo Bills, and he's standing on the sideline.
Bernie Kosar 4-0 as a starter against the Bills in his career. Barron was in motion early as Bruce Smith was the man he had a block.
That penalty has to be taken.
False start prior to the snap. Number 74 offense. Still third down.
So that's going to make it to 3rd and 15. Barron, for the most part today, has done an excellent job against Bruce Smith. He's kept him out there, and they haven't really given Farron much help.
Clock ticking down now. 15 seconds to play in the third quarter, as the Browns now break the huddle on 3rd and long. 3rd and 15. The Bears extending their lead to 26-0. Rams continue to lead the Oilers. San Diego continues to lead the Seahawks at Seattle. Now the third quarter. Time elapsed before the snap of the ball. That's it. The gun sounds. After 3 quarters of play, the Bills continue to lead on a shutout, 21-0. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Bud Carson, his career record as Browns head coach would fall to 12-14-1 if the score holds and the Bills go on to win this game. We start the fourth quarter. Buffalo's up 21-0. Bernie Kosar still active on the sidelines as best he can be. He was benched today for Mike Pagel as the Browns try to change their luck by changing QBs. It hasn't worked. Third down throw, a tip ball, and Brian Brennan had it and lost it. Incomplete.
Now, see, a lot of people in Cleveland accuse Bernie Kosar of the sidearm delivery, allowing the ball to be tipped. My estimation is the pocket collapses on the quarterback, and the net result is he really doesn't have much space. You see a big hand again is able to get up there. That's Mark Pike, and knock the ball away. That's something that consistently happens to this team, not just its quarterback Bernie Kosar, but to this team.
Things quiet in the pound today. Not too many dogs barking at the same dog pound end of Cleveland Stadium. The Brown is shaken up. That's Brian Wagner, the punter.
Brian Brennan.
Brian Brennan.
And Brennan, receiver, is trying to make that catch. Seemed to have turned his ankle a little bit. You want to make matters worse for Cleveland? They're home for the next 5 weeks.
What fans, though? 2-6 team and a sellout of almost 80,000 here to watch this one. Every ticket that wasn't gone was grabbed up by somebody from Buffalo. Big Bills contingent down as the punt downfield to Chris Hale goes out of bounds at the 47-yard line of the Bills. Now let's swing back to New York to NFL Live and Bob Costas. Bob?
Don, after a slow start, the San Diego Chargers have begun to play well of late. Here's rookie Nate Lewis out of Oregon Tech, grabbing the punt and returning it 63 yards for a touchdown. They lengthen their lead on the road at Seattle to 24-7 over the Seahawks late in the third. Don?
Thank you, Bob.
Oregon Tech? Who? Someone from Oregon Tech scored a touchdown in the NFL? Oregon Tech.
Back to the school. Here's a handoff to Thurman Thomas as he crosses midfield, gets out of bounds at about the 47-yard line.
By Mike Johnson.
Tonight, following the game, except for those viewing on the West Coast, it's the story behind the story. The Hillside Strangler paralyzed Los Angeles in fear. Go behind the scenes to meet the Strangler's girlfriend, who tried to free him by committing a copycat murder. Plus, the ill-fated Space Shuttle Challenger was allowed to take off in spite of warnings from an expert. Learn about this disaster and much more on the story behind the story. Then it's Life Stories, followed by the box office smash, 3 Men and a Baby, tonight following the game on NBC. Jim Kelly on 2nd and 4. Hands off the ball as the Bills now look to run the clock. It's down to 14 minutes to play.
You can pretty much see what Cleveland's trying to do here, too. They cheat. Play Matthews up the line of scrimmage. They got to fill every gap, come up with a turnover, and somehow try to produce a miraculous come from behind here the way the Buffalo Bills did against the Denver Broncos up in Buffalo. Matthews, you mentioned earlier, one of the holdouts. Oops, here goes the chant again.
Sounds like an English soccer stadium.
I think they're singing goodbye. Yeah, I wonder to whom that is directed.
Well, Carson has been one of the most acknowledged defensive experts in the NFL for a lot of years. This is his first tenure as a head coach in the NFL. He was a head coach at Georgia Tech. Tough day for Bud Carson. One of those days when the world seems like a tuxedo and you feel like a pair of brown shoes. 21-0 Buffalo.
2 penalties against Cleveland. We've got movement and activity just about everywhere at the snap of the ball here. Thurman Thomas moves. Then the defense moves. And we've got 2 penalties on the defense. Thomas is offsides.
Offside, offense,
okay.
Pass interference, defense, offsetting penalties, 3rd down.
See if we can pick up the pass interference. Felix Wright, 22. On McKellar's the tight end.
So the ball will now be spotted at the 47-yard line of Cleveland.
Nothing for those folks these folks in Cleveland Municipal Stadium to cheer about, is there, Don?
Not today. You've taken some shots in the stadium, haven't you, from the bottom?
Yes, I have.
Administered some.
This was my favorite stadium to play in. Absolutely.
I think Esiason feels that, but he has some great games here.
This is a great stadium because of the crowd, because of the history in this stadium to play in.
Kelly. A long ball. James Lofton goes for it, and then coming from off the play and making the catch is Thurman Thomas. Lofton was running under it, and somehow Thurman Thomas shot in there and caught it right off the turf.
They had Thane Dash in coverage on Thurman Thomas on the outside. Lofton was on the inside. Kelly with good time to throw. Now, see, this is the value of Thurman Thomas. That's a running back running a pattern 30 yards down the field and making the catch. This time they put him back at running back. He'll probably carry it on a trap up the middle. There are very few teams that have a player like this.
Kelly to Thurman Thomas, blocker in front, and down to the 12-yard line.
See, that's what Cleveland would like to do with Eric Metcalf. Throw it to him 30 yards down the field, give it to him, and here's the possessions for the Bills today. 2 touchdowns, a missed field goal. Not spectacular, but look at the field position. For the most part, excellent.
And that's been a huge problem for the Browns. Their net punting coming into the game was just 30 yards. They've had field position problems all season.
Here goes the chant again.
Looks like Al Baker, a 13-year veteran. Bubba Baker is being attended to for Cleveland.
Again, now the possessions 4 times, 3 downs and out. And the field position just miserable for Cleveland throughout this game. There's Al Baker. And you see Baker right there on the upright. Thurman Thomas. I'm not sure what happened there. Looked like he got hit in the chest. They're not looking at his leg. He may have just gotten the wind knocked out of him in the stomach. Seems to be okay.
Dr. John Bergfeld attending to him, and we now go back to NFL Live. Bob?
Don, it just gets worse for the Seahawks moments after Nate Lewis's punt return for a touchdown. Here's an embarrassing sequence for David Craig. The ball just squirts out of his hands like a wet bar of soap into the end zone, where Les Miller recovers it for the touchdown, and the Chargers in the Kingdome lead 31-7 over the Seahawks.
Thank you, Bob. And back at Cleveland, Al Bubba Baker, the longtime defensive end. You see where he's injured here now. It looks like a leg injury.
Well, actually, it looks like a helmet goes right into the stomach of Bubba Baker. And I don't think there's anything wrong with his legs or anything. I think he just got either hit, strained his neck, or just a shot in the solar plexus that knocked the wind out of him.
I think that's it. He looks like he's going to be all right, though, which is good to see. He's been doing it a long time. With the Cardinals and the Browns. Bills challenging and leading 21-0 with 12:05 to play in the game. Kelly, timing throw. It's to the wrong side. Reed was running a post pattern, and Kelly threw an out. One of the few misconnections today. Kelly has hit 13 of 18 throws for 189 yards today.
And the Bills have owned this game from the opening drive.
Marv Levy knows the ups and downs of coaching. In the preseason, people were all over him because the Bills didn't have a good preseason record. And then they got blasted at Miami, 30-7. Coach Shula watching this game right now as his Dolphins are on the rise again, 7-1, and they'll be heading into Buffalo on December 23rd to meet the Bills. Touchdown, Buffalo. Thurman Thomas in the end zone for a third time.
He has been open all over the field, hasn't he?
He ate him up, although the Bills didn't win in that divisional playoff game, and today Thurman Thomas is having one of his best days, and he rarely has an off day.
He had 13 catches in that playoff game. Once again, he's flanked out. There's double coverage. Blaylock 24 outside, Claiborne inside. Kelly with good protection just splits the two defenders. And another score for Buffalo.
The best team the Bills have ever put on the field. They're looking at it right now, ever. They won 2 AFL championships, so that team, those teams wouldn't have come in shouting distance of this outfit. 11:56 to go, and with Kelly at the helm, the Bills roll on. With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey back at Cleveland Stadium, where the Bills have opened up a 28-0 lead. Things are heating up at Anaheim, where the Oilers are challenging for a go-ahead score against the Rams. Let's go to Charlie Jones and Todd Christensen. And our home audiences in Cleveland and Western New York will stay with this game as the Buffalo Bills are ready to kick off. In the wind, it's hit downfield by Norwood, taken by Metcalf 2 yards deep, and he elects not to bring it out. So the Browns will go on offense, 1st and 10 at their 20, trailing 28-0. In the pound. Dogs very obedient today.
They haven't had much to cheer about. It doesn't take much to get those people up on the edge of their seats, but they're
big dogs there, man.
Yeah, they're taking a rest this week.
It's interesting. Last year they had Ronnie Harmon, who dropped that pass in the playoff game. This year they have harmony.
They sure do. That's true. They have harmony.
They also have personnel and coaching. Kevin Mack runs as the Browns have pretty much conceded this game, losing 28-0 with 11:40 to play.
But they're going with a hurry-up offense here with 11:40 to play.
Nagel takes a look. Boy, Cornelius Bennett
Ball was thrown right at Kevin Mack's feet.
Cornelius Bennett, he's a force. He had a shoulder so bad last year, they said he could almost barely lift a 10-pound weight. He had off-season surgery, and he's back to the...
Don't tell that to
Enforcer.
Kevin Mack. He's not going to be convinced that anything wrong with Cornelius Bennett now. Fans are chanting Bernie now. Everybody's confused here. They don't know who they want.
They could bring back Otto Graham now. It's not going to help at this point. 11:20 to play in the game. A connection to Eric Metcalf. Bernie Kosar looks on now in his 6th year from Miami of Florida. He started the day. He's not been in today, but he had 5 touchdown passes and 8 interceptions in his career the previous 5 years. The lowest career interception rate of any player ever.
You know, this has never happened in his athletic career. I asked him the other day at practice, was it a high school, college, or professional? Ever happened? He says, no. I have never been through anything like this. And I said, what are your thoughts? And he said, I'll do whatever he thinks helps the team. I do not want to speak out against anybody in this franchise.
Browns down the ball at the Bills' 49-yard line. 11:12 to play, and the Bills continue to dominate play 28-0.
Why does a man have to do what a man has to do?
2, 3, 4.
Try Bud Dry. Cold filtered for smooth draft taste.
The Browns fans are filing out as their team en route to a 4th consecutive loss, a 7th defeat in the last 8 games. And the Buffalo Bills evolving from a come-from-behind team into a powerhouse in the last 5 weeks, now 6, as they extend their win streak to 6 straight games with this victory today.
Kenneth Davis right up through the middle there. Clay Matthews finally makes the stop. And this is not fun to be a part of on either side of the ball. Obviously, Frank Reich now quarterback for Buffalo, and the Bills are having a good time. But you worry about injuries if you're the team ahead, and if you're the team behind, you know, let's run double time on that clock. Don't leave us out here to be embarrassed any more than we have been today.
It's not hard to call a plays here, Trump.
Huh? No.
Fullback dive. They got a very good rookie in there now, Carwell Gardner. Jim Kelly on the sideline with his cap on. His job well done. Here's Garner's first carry as an NFL player. He was a 2nd-round draft choice in Louisville. They expect big things from him. Strained a knee in the preseason. And now again we'll check the 10-minute ticker, the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Kansas City, the Xerox 10-minute ticker. Kansas City beats the Raiders 9-7. 49ers win again, 8-0. Miami goes to 7-1. New Orleans rallies and beats Cincinnati. The Redskins really rallied, down by 17. They beat the Lions in overtime. Philadelphia defeated New England with ease. The Jets win their 4th game, a rising team. The Steelers down 9-0 come back and beat Atlanta. The Bears roll on. They'll be 7-1. The Rams leading Houston. And San Diego winning at Seattle as the Bills go to the run again. Kenneth Davis ran the ball. He was tackled on the play by Bob Bukowski.
You see Kelly's final numbers, nowhere close to the numbers he had last year in the playoff game, but 14 of 19, outstanding. And I guarantee you Jim Kelly will run across the field and shake Bernie Kosar's hand.
Well, they're part of that great Miami connection.
Yes, sir. Kelly was the first.
These guys have a poster coming out. They're going to endow a scholarship, general needs scholarship at the University of Miami, and this is the poster. The great quarterbacks of recent years that played for the Canes, Kelly and Kosar, Testaverde, and Steve Walsh.
Those 4 guys could buy a country.
Yeah, that's right. And you can get that poster. I know it's being sold through the University of Miami alumni office in Coral Gables. Here is Kenneth Davis running inside the 35-yard line and down inside the 30.
Well, he did stay in bounds. Bangash finally on the tackle. This has to be very painful for the Cleveland Browns ownership, coaches, players, fans to sit and watch. 2-7.
Art Modell, a signal figure in the NFL for many years. He's had a lot of great moments, and certainly this season has not been among them. His good friend and counterpart across the way, Ralph Wilson, the owner of the Buffalo Bills, as they say, the man who pays the bills.
That's a big job.
He's given a free hand to Bill Foley and his general manager and his scouting staff, John Butler, and these people have put together a super football team. Davis runs again and does the right thing, stays in bounds.
Now, let me ask you a question. Looking at who Cleveland has to play for the rest of this season, would you favor them over Houston?
I would not, no.
Okay, how about against the Miami Dolphins on November 25th? You can't pick them there.
The Dolphins are
the Rams,
sensational right now.
The Houston Oilers again, the Falcons, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. I'm not sure you'd pick Cleveland to be favored in any one of those games. So at 2-7, I don't think the losing is going to stop here in Cleveland.
And the obvious question that you hate to dwell on it, but you know, Bud Carson has to wonder, like everyone else, will he be coaching here in 2 weeks when they return to action after the week bye?
I think Art Modell has handled this situation as well as an owner can. He has tried very desperately not to be drawn in to this public speculation. And whatever he's going to do with a great deal of thought. He's got a lot of people around him whose opinion he trusts. They've given Bud Carson a free hand in this football team. He hired the assistant coaches that he wanted. He got the Plan B acquisitions that he wanted. There were a lot of holdouts this summer, which I don't believe were Bud's fault. But at the same time, there's as many reasons to get rid of him as some might think to keep him.
Garner running hard and takes it down to the 15-yard line. It wasn't that many years ago. The Bills were in disarray in '84. They were bad enough to have the first pick in the draft. And then in '85, in the spring of '85, they turned that pick into one of the great players in pro football. Bruce Smith, their defensive end, and it's been a rising success story since under Marv Levy. Excellent football coach.
If you're a Bills fan, the list of complaints about this team is now gone. They have one on grass. They have one on the road. I mean, this season looks very special for Buffalo if no one gets hurt.
Now the Bills are down close again as they pitch back to Kenneth Davis. He's fighting hard for the end zone inside the 5-yard line.
Gee whiz, now the Cleveland fans are cheering for the Buffalo Bills. This is straight up the middle, no pulling, no trapping whatsoever. It's just zone blocking. Take the man in front of you. Davis with excellent foot speed cuts back. He runs over Felix Wright. Burnett finally makes the tackle, but not until it's 1st and goal. Everything has worked for the last 2 weeks for the Buffalo Bills. Everything.
Bills challenging again. 1st down and goal inside the 5-yard line of Cleveland.
Flag thrown.
Ed Marchibroda, the Bills offensive coordinator, had come under some fire, but his offense has really opened up. Been one of the most impressive in the league in recent weeks.
Yeah, we talked to him last night. I said, Ted, you've got weapons everywhere. And he said, you're right. A defense has very...
That'll be a 40-second timeout. That'll be a 40-second timeout.
He said a defense has a very difficult time trying to figure out who to stop. They throw it to Thomas. They give it to Thomas. They throw it to McKellar. They throw it to Andre Reed. James Lofton deep. They got a lot of things that this offense can do.
They go back to Orchard Park next Sunday to play Phoenix. If it's cold, that could be ugly for the Cardinals. Now we'll look at the late games on the Xerox 10-minute ticker. Bears winning impressively again. Rams continue to hold to a lead over the Oilers at Anaheim. San Diego has now extended its lead to 31-7 over Seattle. And the Bills closing in on a 5th touchdown today with 5:28 to play here at Cleveland. Bills, as mentioned, have lost 5 straight games to the Browns, including that divisional playoff game last January. They've not won at Cleveland since 1974. Frank Reich in at quarterback. He was the guy that when Kelly was shaken up against the Colts last year, came in and quarterbacked the Bills to 3 straight wins.
I don't know that there's much that can stop this football team, and the Bills-Miami game is a giant.
Tawdry attempted a commercial announcement there for Raider 3.
I'm telling you that it's been a long time since the AFC East has produced a matchup like this. When is that game? December 3rd?
December 23rd.
December 23rd.
It'll be cold. Dolphins won again impressively. Dolphins have to go to the Meadowlands to play the Jets, and that's no easy Sunday. In fact, the Jets almost beat the Dolphins at Miami.
Yeah, they sure did.
It kicks off at 12:30 with NFL Live. Bob Costas, Will McDonough, and the Juice. O.J. Simpson. Miami at Jets, Colts at New England, and in the 4 o'clock game is Denver at San Diego. Davis, he's in. Touchdown, Buffalo. Look at these Buffalonians.
Yeah, this is a summer evening in Buffalo. Some of those guys are in T-shirts. Motion away by McKellar, and then it's a foot race by Davis to the outside. 59, Mike Johnson, the last guy to make the attempt. Davis is able to get in. 34, soon to be 35-0. Browns were shut out by Kansas City 34-0 earlier this season.
Norwood getting set for the point after attempt. It's good. There's a marker down. We have a technical knockout scored here by the Buffalo Bills.
We have 12 men on the field. Defense, extra point is good. 5-yard
Browns
penalty.
again had 12 men on the field.
Unless the kickoff.
Bud Carson, left hand, wears that Super Bowl ring from Pittsburgh proudly on that hand.
Buying.
No, Richard Kiley and Jane Wallace host The Story Behind the Story, followed by the critically acclaimed new series Life Stories. Then Tom Selleck, Ted Danson, and Steve Guttenberg star on the network premiere of 3 Men and a Baby, tonight only on NBC. Buffalonians here en masse. They filled the hotel last night. Decorum generally good.
Generally.
Couple of D performances.
Ooh, bye, Bud. No Bills, Rochester, New York. Last time the Cleveland Browns were shut out twice in one season? Yes. 1972. Is
that right?
1972.
Game clock showing 4 minutes and 27 seconds left to play. Hagel goes right into the shotgun. 35-0 Buffalo. Derek Gaines runs the ball. Derek Gaines to the 20-yard line.
Second down, 10 from the 20.
Well, next weekend, Mr. Bob Trumpy will have himself right there in Kapalua as an incomplete pass to the Azuzu Kapalua International. Final round coverage next Saturday at 3:30. I mean, you only have to work one day?
No, we work 4, but 1 on NBC.
This beats beating a tie end, doesn't it?
By the way, that is the 18th tee at the Sawgrass TPC in Sawgrass, Florida. That is not Kapalua Bay, but it is golf.
It still looks pretty good.
Yes, it does.
Third down for the Browns. They need 10. Hagel throws, and he makes the connection to Brian Bennett. A penalty marker comes in after the play. Cornelius Bennett, I think he was held. He's got his arms out extended. Calling to the Bills fans.
That is holding against Cleveland, too.
Bennett is a weapon.
The line of the Cleveland Browns has not done a bad job of protecting the quarterback today.
Holding, number 66 offense.
This would
Still
be
third down.
Tony Jones.
That would be on Cornelius Bennett, too, the man who was assigned to block him. There's 66. And there's the pass rush on the outside. Let's see what Jones does. All right.
That's a good...
Yeah, I'd say that's a hold.
Yeah.
More like an undressing.
It is now 3rd down and 20 for Cleveland. Brian Brennan. Ooh, what a shot. But he has the first down.
Leonard Smith just nailed him helmet to helmet.
Leonard Smith, he's a striker. And Brian Brennan delivers another standout play by Brennan as he's a little slow getting up. Says a lot for Brian Brennan that he's awake.
There's a phone ringing in his helmet. Leonard Smith is the one on the other end of the line. That's 5 catches now for Brennan. 84 yards on the day. And, oh, whiplash along with a headache. Pretty much an exclamation point to this football game. Would you agree, Don Crickey? A hit like that?
Yeah, that's... Brian Brennan, after a very strong performance for the Browns, and they've not had many today, being attended to, he's going to be up next Saturday. The PBA Fall Tour continues on NBC Sports with coverage of the Toyota Classic from Richmond Heights, Missouri. The nation's top rollers will compete for $150,000 in prize money. Join commentators Jay Randolph, the round mound of sound, and the old left-hander Earl Anthony for all the action next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific, only on NBC.
Chris Hale is limping off. And Brian Brennan on the other side of the field is going off, wondering just exactly where he might be. Not sure exactly. Tough kid, Brian Brennan.
Looking at his right ankle. He might have turned it when he was hit. Another throw. Metcalf makes the catch over the middle. And he is ahead for a first down for Cleveland across midfield to the 48-yard line of Buffalo.
Nice inside pattern run by Metcalf. 17-yard pickup. Bagel had time to throw it. Of course, a lot now defensively is going to be allowed by Buffalo. Their next thought is to get on that plane.
James Williams, the rookie #1 draft choice of the Buffalo Bills, almost picked it up. For Buffalo is intended for Vernon Joins, number 80.
Ball thrown behind the receiver. Joins on the outside. They're going to run the little square end pattern, and Bagel does not throw it very nice. Joins can't get back to catch it.
Keeping you updated on developments around the league, and Bears continue to dominate at Tampa Bay. Rams continue to lead. San Diego now at the 17-point lead. Seattle gets a touchdown. Another throw, incomplete inside the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Browns.
Intended for Newsom. Newsom was well covered.
They ought to have the in the leather rule like they do in golf. Some putts are good. I think this game is good.
I think that's a great idea. I feel bad for Bud Carson, too. All the years he's labored as an assistant coach, and I think he knows the problem that exists here, and if there's an indictment against him, there's 3 things that happened today. 12 men on the field twice, and I don't know when he called Art Modell to tell him when Mike Pagel was starting as the quarterback. I think that's an unforgivable sin not to let the owner in on when who's starting at quarterback.
3rd down throw is incomplete. White Drain breaks it up. Vernon Joins, the intended receiver. Bills will be back at home to play Phoenix next week. Then they play the Eagles at home. Then they head for a tough one down to Houston. Monday night game. You were down there last year for a rather high-scoring affair.
That's the best football game I'd seen in probably 10 years.
Is that right?
Buffalo won in overtime on a reception by Andre Reed. That ball game, I wanted him to play some more. I didn't want him to quit.
Hagel on fourth down. Downfield throw. It's intercepted. And on the run is Darryl Talley. He's from Cleveland, Ohio, and he's heading for the end zone. What a day for Darryl Talley. First an interception and then a touchdown in his hometown.
Darryl Talley, the linebacker, caught 2 more passes than John Talley, the tight end for the Cleveland Browns. Have some mercy here. This is a proud franchise. Reduced to this, I don't like watching this.
Well, it'll be back.
Oh, there's no question about that. But this is watching a sick friend.
It's the Cleveland team, the only team in the NFL has been to the playoffs the 5 previous seasons. Norwood hits the point after, and with 2:31 to play, it's a 42-0 game.
Well, you can see the coverage is just dropping back, and it's, look, that ball is intended for his brother, 87. Or is it Joins, 80? Let's say it's his brother, 87. The other Talley, older brother, Darryl intercepts it for a score. Makes a better story if it's intended for his brother.
Scott Birchtold and Denny Lynch of the Bills PR staff down there celebrating on the sideline.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Bills will need a plane to fly back to Buffalo.
Their coaching staff has put it together. Bresnahan, Corey, Dedman, DeHaven, Dickerson, Lester, Jones, Lawrence, Lester, Marchabroda, Nicolau, Pitts, and Roach under head coach Marv Levy.
Toughest thing for the Buffalo Bills now, keep the intensity level up. This has not been difficult for Buffalo today.
And it wasn't last week.
And it wasn't last week is correct.
I see all the Bills coaches have left the press box. They're down on the field. The usual group that's up in the press box. We're all concerned. Hopefully the Cleveland Browns in their wisdom after this kickoff will down the ball, take it to their 20 on a touchback, and run the ball.
There's the Bills' assistant coaches. It becomes
more pathetic when you stand back and try to throw.
Yeah, there's the Bills' assistant coaches. There's nothing they can do from the press box that they can't do on the sideline. That's just high five, everybody.
Our thanks in the press box for their help to John Betchkel, John Finn, David Clancy, and Frank Fletcher, and Vernon T. Flegel. Derek Gaynor runs the ball, a first-year player, and gets to the 25-yard line. Another rookie, Marcus Patton, makes the tackle for the Bills.
Now for Bud Carson, he has to go in and face the press after this football game. One of the responsibilities of the head coach. Not fun. I mentioned earlier that Super Bowl ring that he wears on his finger as a member of Chuck Noll's staff with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And
a couple of finals in Trump. San Diego's won at Seattle 31-14. And the Bears have won at Tampa Bay 26-6. The Bears go to 7-1. San Diego starting to move up, is now 4-5. Rams continue to lead the Oilers in the fourth quarter at Anaheim. A 4-point lead for Los Angeles. Sacked by rookie Marcus Patton from UCLA. Tonight, following the game, except for those viewing on the West Coast, it's the story behind the story. The Hillside Strangler paralyzed Los Angeles in fear. Go behind the scenes to meet the Strangler's girlfriend, who tried to free him by committing a copycat murder. Plus, the ill-fated Space Shuttle Challenger was allowed to take off in spite of warnings from an expert. Learn about this disaster and much more on the story behind the story. Then it's Life Stories, followed by the box office smash Three Men and a Baby, tonight following the game on NBC. Brian Wagner hits a good punt into the wind. And back to field it now is Nate Odoms for the Buffalo Bills. He's out to midfield with 1:47 left to play in the game. Derek Gaynor was down on a tackle. Bernie Kosar could be back at the throttle when the Browns return to Cleveland Stadium in 2 Sundays. Mike Pagel got the starting call today. It was a quarterback question, not a controversy. Pagel said that he thought Bernie should be the starter. Bills with first down.
First and 10 Bills at the 50.
Mercifully, they're going to run this out.
The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. The coordinating producer of NBC's football is John Faratzis. Today's game has been produced by Glenn Adamo, directed by John McDonough, associate director Doug Grabert, production associate Jenny Huber, technical manager Ernie DeRosa, production managers Ralph McFarland and Tim DeKime, technical director Jimmy Johnson. We thank them all and our NBC crew here today. Lenny Basile on the play-by-play camera and all the other who rank as the best in the business. Art and Pat Modell on a very long Sunday as the Browns really taken a direct shot to the chin from the Buffalo Bills. Jumped out, 7-0 lead on their first possession, and that was it in truth from.
Yeah, Don, the problem is this game is not over. I mean, even when time expires, this game is going to live for a long time. The next week or 10 days or maybe the next 24 hours is going to be as painful as this franchise has been through in the last 20 or 25 years.
Mike dumps the ball in the backfield.
It's it. The Bills extend their win streak to 6 in a row, and they again move into a first-place tie with the Miami Dolphins in the AFC East, each with 7-1 records. And Bud Carson leaves the field at Cleveland Stadium as head coach. The Bills extending their best to him. We'll be back to Cleveland Stadium in a moment.